Hello, I'm going to do a little getting to know you video about Patons Colorwul yarn. It's a brand new yarn from patonsyarns.com, and it has lots of pretty colors in the skein. I've never used this yarn before. It's 100% wool, and it feels divine. Feels really nice. Feels like a good standard wool yarn, but it's not rough. It feels not incredibly soft, but it is comfortable to the touch. And I also have another color here, which has some blues in that. This color is called Ocean, and it has blue, it has like a dark, what would you call that? Royal blue, I guess. And the other blue is like a not quite turquoise, kind of a lake blue, and a tomato red, and a honey gold yellow, and it also has a forest green in there in the mix. So it's a nice mix of different colors. I imagine that the ocean name is referring to under the ocean, inside, like the coral and stuff like that. It captures all those colors. And this pretty color. This color combination is called Meadow, and it has a forest green. It's a little bit deeper green than was showing in the ocean over there, and it has a gold yellow. It looks like the same yellow that was in the blue. Yeah, it's the same yellow. And that tomato red, that looks like it's the same tomato red. And a brown, which is a rich chocolate brown, and a very dark brown, almost black. It could possibly be black in there in the mix. So that's the colors in the Meadow skein. Colorwul, and if you want to look up this yarn, you can go to www.patonsyarns.com, and this is a bulky yarn. It uses a size 10.5 knitting needle, 6.5 millimeters, and you'll get 14 stitches across the row in a 4-inch square. If you use a crochet hook, you need a size K or 10.5, 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, and you'll get 10 single crochets in a 4-inch square across the row. And those 4-inch squares are also considered 10 centimeter squares. This is 100% wool, hand wash, lay flat to dry, and that's all the instructions we have here. Each skein is 85 grams or 3 ounces. It's 81 meters or 90 yards. Made in Romania, packaged in Canada. 2 balls of this yarn will make a hat, 3 balls will make a scarf, and 6 to 12 balls will make a sweater, pullover, or jumper. Alright, there we go. So now we know the basics of the Patons Colorwul yarn. So now I'm going to give it a try and see how it works with a knitting needle and a crochet hook. So to get to the center of the skein, you find this one long strand that's hanging out from the center, and you pull that out. That's the outside of the skein. So you can wrap that around the skein and hide it under the label. Stick your finger in the end. Stick your finger in this end and wiggle them around. You'll find the center of this skein. You'll find a little loose section you can pull out like that. And there's the center of the skein. There. It is a bulky weight yarn, and it's loosely spun. With the different colors, and that makes the yarn soft. It also will cause the plies to split very easily, which is normal for this kind of yarn. So it would probably work better if you did not use pointy knitting needles. If they have a blunt end, it'll work better. So I'm going to start off with these metal knitting needles, size 10.5. And I'm going to cast on some stitches and see how it works. And it flows very easily onto the needle. I like the way it feels in my hand. It's always nice to work with wool yarn. And I always like to try yarn on different needles to see how it feels. So I'm trying it first on these old metal needles I have. Let's see here, what kind are they? They're Boy 10.5. I have no idea where I got these. I'm always coming across knitting needles in discount boxes or low price lots on eBay, or sometimes I find them when I'm out at a fiber fair or at a yarn shop. I like to look in the bargain area and see what they have, so that's probably where I got these. This yarn is very easy to work with. It flows nice on the needles. Feels very good in my hand. So it's working well for the first row. Now let's try the second row. And of course, since it's wool, you're going to come across some hairy sections because that's what wool is. Sheep hair. No way around that. I like the color combinations of this. It's kind of neat. I always like trying different yarns to see how I like the color combinations. And this almost has a tweedy look to it. And it feels really good. It makes a nice fabric. All the stitches stand up nicely. I'm going to try some pearls with these metal needles. See how that goes. Very nice. It works easily. Not a problem at all. Like it. It's always fun to try different fibers like wool or acrylic or nylon or alpaca or silk, cotton. It's funny how different fibers will feel completely different on the same set of needles. So there's that. It purled well, it knitted well. It makes a nice bulky fabric. Works quickly and feels spongy, and the stitches stand up nice. It's a good fabric. I like it. It's a little hairy, so if you don't like hairy fabrics, you wouldn't like it. But if you're like me and you like the look of hairy yarns, which I do, I think it looks cool. I love it when I see someone wearing a sweater made out of yarn that has that nice woolly look to it. It just makes me want to go grab it. I saw a guy one time at a store. I was at a restaurant, that's where it was, and this guy walked in and he was wearing this beautiful dark forest green pullover with Aran stitching throughout. Oh, it was just gorgeous. And I wanted so much to go over and feel that sweater. And he probably saw me staring at him and thought I wanted to pick him up, but I wasn't interested in him. I just liked the sweater. Anyway, finish up this last row of knits. There, now you can see the fabric a little bit more. The stitches are nice. It makes a good fabric. Let me bring this light down so you can see it a little bit better. So it knits well. So now, oh, it unravels nicely too. No hesitation at all. Good. So I'm going to see how it works with Denise needles. And trust me, these are Denise needles. They're the ones that were dyed by the knittinghelp.com people. And mine's purple, my size 10.5. So I'm just going to cast on a few stitches with my Denise resin needles. And it's flowing very nicely. In fact, it's going quicker. I'm going to knit a row here. Oh, pushing you around. Sorry about that. Yeah, it knits nicely on the Denise's. It feels awesome. Feels better than it did with the metal needles. I think metal needles work better with acrylic yarns. And plastic or wood needles work well with wool or cotton. But that's for me. Everybody's different. It may not be that way for you. It knits well. Let me knit one more row real quick. Feels really good. Works quickly. Nice wool yarn. Makes me think of sheep running through the meadow. Happy thoughts. Now I'm going to purl a row with this. There's an especially hairy section there. Split that one a little bit. It's easier to split a stitch with pearls, I think it is, than it is with knitting. There. Works quickly and it looks just as gorgeous. There we go. There's that nice yarn. Knitted with Denise needles this time. Okay. Still unravels well. Now I'm going to try it with crochet hook. Using my size K crochet light hook. It's nice to work with wool yarn. I've never crocheted wool before, so it's my first time. I'm a wool crochet virgin. No, I have crocheted wool, but it was a wool blend that I crocheted before. Uh-oh. Never 100% wool. Alright, now let's go across here. I always wonder just one loop when I do the first row. That's just me. You do it your way, I'll do it mine. This wool is a springy yarn. It has a life to it. It stands up. Good. What's the word? Not sturdy, because sturdy is rough, and this is not rough. It's a good... can't think of another word besides sturdy. Just a nice wool. Pull that first loop in a little bit there. Turning chain. This crochets very nicely. I like how it flows. This is such a dark yarn, isn't it? Sometimes dark yarns are hard to see your stitches, but I'm feeling them well here and I can see them well. It's easy to work with. probably because of all those colors, makes it easier to see. Here's that woolly section of hairy section again. It works well with crochet. There. It's a nice fabric, if you can see that. I like it. It's fun to crochet with wool. So now you've seen it knitted and crocheted. If you want to try out Patons Colorwul yarn for yourself, what would this be good to make? I think it would make a nice vest or pullover or jumpers, they call it in England, or a cardigan. I think it would work for any kind of basic wool project. Nice. It's thick. See how thick it is because it's bulky. Good fabric. So there you have it. Patons Colorwul. Go to patonsyarns.com and you'll be able to find patterns for this yarn and you'll be able to play around with it yourself. Have a good time. See you later. Bye.